Hello, everyone. Sorry for having been gone for quite a while. Work's been a little bit busy, and I really have not had the motivation to make any videos. But yeah, this is something I've had made out for a little while here, or at least something I've wanted to do. I kind of like the idea of all these tier lists and everything, just of ranking certain things. I think everyone kind of enjoys doing that. I saw iDubbbz do his fast food tier. I love that. Borderlands 2 has kind of been lacking in that. It has like all the legendaries, but I don't really find that as all that cool. I don't feel like you can have that many things and still make it a decent tier list. Anyway, I always have liked ranking the raid bosses from this game, and I figured I'd make a tier list ranking for that. You'll notice that my tier list is a little different than most tier lists you'll see, as it's A, B, C, D, F, because I'm a normal human being and I don't know what the hell S is even supposed to stand for. So that's my ranking. A is the top because that's normal life. I don't know what an S is supposed to be. So anyway, at the bottom here, you'll notice I've kind of got some things from Borderlands 1 as well as the pre-sequel down here. Like I've got EOS, technically not a raid boss, but I mean, he basically is. You got Crawmerax, and then you've got the Invincible Sentinel. So, I mean, I just kind of threw those on there. I don't even think I'm going to mess with them, really, just because this is just going to be Borderlands 2. But, if you want to throw those on there as well, do your thing, do your thing. So, to start off, I'm going to go bottom to top-ish, kind of. So to start off, the raid boss I like the exactly least is Vermi. I cannot stand Vermi. I don't consider him a raid boss. I consider him a rare occurrence. You can spawn him twice, which doesn't really make any sense for me. He doesn't have a health bar above. Yeah, I'd rather just never try and spawn this guy because it takes too much time. It's like triple O. I'd rather just farm Hyperius for days for a Norfleet because yeah, I just hate this guy. I genuinely hate him. So Vermi's pretty much in the F tier by himself, as he should be, because I just don't like him. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people disagree with that, but I really don't care. I don't really consider him much of a raid boss, but I just put him in here because people be like, well, he's a raid boss, man. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, he's not. Anyway, on to D tier. I got Haterax the Invincible, or Haterax, or whatever you're supposed to call him. So I don't really like this giant worm guy. He's a really uninteresting raid boss to me, just because he's kind of a combination of the boss at the end of Captain Scarlet's DLC, and really the only way you kill him is you make him drop his tongue and then you shoot it and then he's dead. He's really not that powerful at all. He's not a difficult raid boss, and there's still guns like the toothpick to try and make it even easier. So I really don't think this raid boss is all that good. Maybe I'll get used to him and like him a little bit more, but as of right now, I don't really like him. So next one on this is Master Yi. So Master Yi does suck. Like, he's not good, but he's not as bad as people think he is. So Master Yi could be improved in a few ways. I really think the thing that hurts him most is that his first stage, you can't damage him at all. You just have to wait for his shield to go down, and then you can actually do damage. If that was just completely erased, this raid boss fight would be so much better, in my opinion. I think you should also kind of try and take the focus away from the sandworms, because right now, as is, you have to use the sandworms to kill him. I don't think you should have to do that, but if you wanted to kill him as fast as possible, you would have to do that. So Master Yi, not that good. Still not a good raid boss, but not something that I'm like, yeah, he's horrible. I would never even try and kill him. He definitely deserves more than the gate smashing that I usually see. So next up, I've got Dexy at D. So I almost thought about putting Dexy in the C tier, but I really think he belongs in the D, mainly because of my criticism of Haterax. Basically, you can only kill him using crits. Actually, not basically. You can only kill him using crits. And you have to stand there and wait for his crits to spawn. It's just really kind of a boring fight. It's cool that they have it in just a general area where you go to in the normal DLC. That's cool. And you have the whole environment around you. But he's just not really that cool of a boss. That, and he costs so much. You got to run all the way across the map to unlock him. He doesn't really drop anything. So, I mean, he kind of sucks, but he could be better. He could be better. Like, if he was more like Terra and he dropped something worthwhile, he would be a pretty awesome raid boss. That, and if he had a little bit more of a move set. But he could be better. He could be. He's not there. He's not there yet. So next raid boss, and starting off the C tier, is Terra. So I'm not a huge fan of Terra. Obviously, you kind of got to give him some credit because he's really the first raid boss in Borderlands 2, because I don't really consider Vermi one. He's got a good loot pool, and by a good loot pool, I mean he's got a bunch of legendaries that he can drop. They may not necessarily be fantastic, but it's something. Other than that, I don't really enjoy the fight all that much. Maybe it's because most of the time when I'm killing him, I'm either Zero or Axton or Maya, and it's kind of always the same thing every time. That, and sometimes it's just like, yeah, I'll hide behind this rock, be completely uninvolved in this raid boss fight. Maybe that's just my fault for playing it that way, but I've never really found Terra to be that exciting of a raid boss. So next up, we have our boy Pyro Pete. So Pyro Pete's kind of interesting to me. I don't really find him that enjoyable to kill. And I know a lot of people do. They like killing him with Sniper Zero or going around with Maya, because I guess he's easy. I mean, yeah, he's easy. He's just... I absolutely hate dealing with Novas that don't go away. That just isn't fun to me. The dude has like no moveset. He moves super slow. He's just like, hit me, kill me. Basically, if you just are moving the entire time, you can completely avoid getting hit by any of his moves, with the exclusion of the giant area of effect move that he always does. I really don't find that too exciting. He doesn't really drop anything too. You always see kills with Krieg that are like 3 seconds. I don't find that cool. It's like, okay, you learned how blood explosion works. Whoop-de-doo. So I'm not a huge fan of Pete, but he's got to be up on this list just because everyone kind of likes him, I feel like. So that rounds off my C tier as well. And first boss on my B tier is Hyperius. Hyperius, especially now with the new level cap, is a lot more interesting. So I don't know why. He's a boss that I can just kill over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and not really get all that tired of doing. And I notice a lot of people are kind of that way too. Maybe it's just because I like farming for Norfleets. I don't know. I'm a masochist, I guess. But he's just something... He's just an interesting enough boss that you can kill him over and over again. He's definitely got a strange mechanic. He does it in a different way than Guy, and probably a better way than Guy too, with the invincibility of you having to take his bots down first, and then you can deal damage to him and until they're finally dead, and he just charges you and gets all giant and stuff. So one of the things that kind of annoyed me about Hyperius was that he was super easy to kill. So like every single kill for Hyperius was like a second, literally, because someone had the best strategy. I feel like that's kind of going to go away a little bit with this new patch. I don't really know yet, though. But it'll at least be harder to do that. And I kind of feel like that'll make Hyperius a little bit more enjoyable for me. And of course, he drops the Norfleet, which, like I said... I mean, I don't really enjoy using rocket launchers, but it's kind of fun to farm for something that's so unique and so, only for 1 or 2 specific enemies that'll drop it. And it's locked behind something that's somewhat difficult. So next on this list for me is the Ancient Dragons. So the dragons... Oh gosh, what can I say about the dragons? I don't really particularly love the dragons. One thing that makes these dragons awful and will piss you off to no end if it does happen is the whole status effect glitch that happens a decent amount of the time. And that is when you do a status effect to an enemy that's airborne and they land, you can no longer do a status effect anymore. So you can't slag them if they're on the ground, and then you're just like, well, I'm just going to kill myself because this is going to take forever. So the dragons are the hardest raid in the entire game, I'd say. I don't think many people would disagree with me on that. Maybe it's easier for like Salvador or if you stack Critical Ascension with Zero. but other than that, they are probably the hardest. It's also interesting to see a raid boss that uses all of the elements. You kind of see this at times with Terra and at times with Pete, but you never see all 4 of the elements, which is kind of a cool thing. That, and it's a staged fight that's also pretty interesting as well. It's not like Haterax, like, you know, you shoot this guy and then he exposes himself gigantically, but you kind of have to strategize as to how you're going to take these guys down. Anyways, not my favorite. But I felt like they're deserving of a B spot. A lot of people might disagree with that. I really wouldn't be surprised if someone put them down in the D just because they're so difficult to kill sometimes. So next up, we've got the A tier, and I'm going to throw something that might surprise some people, or at least people who have not watched my videos before. I'm going to throw Crawmerax up here, and specifically the son of Crawmerax. I know Crawmerax is right down there. I'm not going to throw him on this list, but doesn't matter. Anyway, son of Crawmerax, A tier. I love this guy. I know he drops absolutely nothing. People hate him for that. I really don't care. I think he's awesome. So Craw's kind of one of the easiest raids in the game, but he is a blast to tank down. I can really do this all day with Craw. I can just go back and kill him over and over and over and over again, and not even looking for loot or anything, just doing it because I surely enjoy killing Craw. I don't know why, but I just do. So Craw's set up unlike most of the other raid bosses. Obviously, he does have invincibility stages, but they're all staged so that basically you'll take down a quarter of his health, he'll go invincible, he'll dig into the ground, and then you got to deal with some enemies on the ground. Whether or not you choose to deal with them is your choice. I've always found that killing them makes things worse. Sometimes you'll kill so many of them, and for some reason a savage will spawn down there with a gun, and then he can shoot your shield down, which most of the time I'll have a bee trying to kill him, so I won't really ever screw with that. I freaking love this guy, but maybe it's just my love of the conference call and also using the funny glitch where enemies can't track you when you're jumping all the time. But I really find this boss enjoyable. Anyways, for the top boss, last one on the A tier is Voracidous. So Voracidous is awesome. So he's one of the hardest bosses in the game. I would still say he's second behind the dragons, but he's a difficulty that is totally different than the dragons. So he's a really sporadic boss. He moves around a lot. Yeah, he has novas, but it's not annoying like Pete. He'll also have little darts that he shoots at you. He's just a super all over the place boss, and that makes things really interesting because you kind of got to be on edge the whole time, and you kind of got to have fast reflexes occasionally to deal with them. Yeah, you're going to always have to use a grog or a herald swap or something to get you health back, but I think that kind of adds a level of difficulty to it that I enjoy. The one thing that I don't really particularly like about him is the whole point of having the whole chief guy before him. Pretty much everyone who does that usually just kills him right off the bat by using something coupled with a trespasser, I guess now an amigo sincero. And just kills him right off the bat because he's just annoying and a pain in the ass. And you obviously don't want Vora to have a shield or else the boss fight's just going to last a really long time. But Vora is different than most of these bosses because he actually drops like pretty decent weapons. I mean, obviously he drops what would be the best shotgun in the game if you're excluding the conference call, which I am. And it's probably better than the conference call too, is the interfacer, obviously. But he is a boss that takes you to a totally different game. You're no longer playing Borderlands 2 anymore. It almost feels like you're playing Dark Souls or something because he's one of those kind of bosses. And I really enjoy having that in this game. So anyway, that's the end of this list. Like I said, I've been trying to make this for a while. I'm going to have more videos coming out here soon, probably. Maybe not. I don't really know. I'm going to be busy most likely. But I'll release them when something comes to my mind. Anyways, remember to dislike, unsub, add in another raid boss so this tier list makes literally no sense. And I will not see you in the next one. Hey everyone, also by the way, I will be having a link here in the description so you can share your tier list. Tell me why I'm wrong, why I'm stupid, why you hate me, things like that. and why your list is better, which it clearly isn't because I am basically infallible. So yeah,